Hi, Scorpio. Well, that makes a lot of sense because in the future position, we have this 3 of Autumn energy, which is kind of working hard. Could be you're working at work, Scorpio, but for me, since it's a love reading, I kind of also feel like it's just you kind of chipping away, working hard at what you want to achieve in love. We have this, so you're not really available necessarily for love. We have this idea of retreat, taking time out. You could take a vacation with someone you love if you're coupled. But for me, it's more about this retreat from the expectations, the requirements of love. It's like you just kind of wanting to spend some quiet time for yourself. And with the 2 of Swords as well here, he's sort of trying to entice her with this rose, and she's kind of like, nah, I'm kind of doing my thing right now. I'm kind of doing me kind of thing. And it could be, of course, the reverse, female to male. It doesn't really matter. Just portrayed as a male here. So I kind of feel like this makes sense in the future position, which is fine because we're in like I said, a relatively short period of time. Like in the future, in the middle of January, I kind of feel like at Scorpio, there is that sense of just kind of like focusing on what you need to do, spending some time alone, or even with loved ones, but feeling that sense of wanting to be alone, maybe not interacting in a very extroverted way, being more sort of introverted. And with that 2 of Swords, taking your time before you make a decision, or taking your time before you move forward in whatever ways that means for you, regardless of single or coupled. So that's funny that I went to the future first. But let's go back to the past here. So we have this new consciousness, as I feel it for you, Scorpio, swirling around you. A different way of thinking about love, different way of wanting to be in love. And for you, I really do feel like it's about clarity of communication it could be with another, but for me, for you, Scorpio, I feel like it's for you. This is for you. It's a consciousness is how I feel it. An understanding that's dawning upon you is the way it feels. And I think it does have something to do with your spirituality, possibly even around your religion, in terms of a new consciousness around what's right and true for you in religion. Maybe you weren't really religious before and now you're wanting to be, or you're looking at the different aspects of the way that you were raised with your religious rituals, etc., and beginning to contemplate those as well. It has a lot of different ways of playing out. But I think at its core for you, Scorpio, it's about getting in touch with yourself as a spiritual being in love, in the way that you approach love, knowing that you want that mind, body, spirit connection in love is how it feels to me, because you're wanting that your new consciousness is sort of dawning upon you. You're wanting more clarity. You don't want to have to try to manipulate situations. You don't want to have to wait on others. You don't want to have to guess. You're wanting more clarity, and you want to also know that you are here for your spirit as well, not just for the physical aspects of love. You want that mind, body, spirit connection, and you're willing to kind of wait for it. We do have this 7 of Chalices here, and I'm always drawn to that turtle, this kind of slow-moving energy. And the 7 of Chalices does show lovely passion here. It can also kind of indicate a little bit of confusion emotionally, which makes sense because whenever you have like a new idea, something new coming in, and you're looking at ways that you have been previously, it does lead, it can be a little bit confusing because you're having to revamp your way of thinking. And, our ego doesn't like that. And sometimes we can get really confused. And we want to cling to the past sometimes and think, no, that's kind of scary that I'm thinking that way, or that's unusual or different for me, but that's okay. That's why that kind of slows it down a little bit, but you slow it down for a reason. You slow it down so you can incorporate it and integrate the new consciousness that's surrounding you here. You're not ready to rush forward necessarily with it. And then we have the 7 of Spring energy, and there's a lot of, talking about that confusion a little bit down here with that 7 of Chalices. I also kind of feel like it here in the 7 of Spring. I feel like you have been through something, Scorpio, whatever that is, and you're still feeling a little bit like you need to defend yourself. You're still feeling ready to defend yourself. But, it's really ruled by the moon here, this lunar energy, and being a water sign, being the Scorpio, it's like you're very sensitive to it. And during this time period, especially in the present position here, you may not know when you need to be on the defensive, or what someone's intentions are. Remember, there's this dawning consciousness upon you. You want a lot of clarity here, and with this Ace of Winter, and so you're not as down, so to speak, with the idea of things being murky. You're really wanting to be clear. And because you can't necessarily have that clarity right here in the center, and because this dawning consciousness is new, you're a little, I don't want to say paranoid, but I will say it, a little bit paranoid. I'll say it. There you go. And you're really being encouraged to continue to stand up for the, the new beliefs that you're beginning to integrate, especially around your spirituality or your religion here. And it's, right there, healing family issues. Many of you will be going home to be with family. And it's giving you a beautiful opportunity to begin to look at some of the dynamics there and begin to heal them, look at them differently. It might be difficult for some of you because of this lunar light. The moon is harder to see by, but trust your intuition. You have a very powerful intuition, Scorpio. You're known for this. And so remember, this is for rising, ascendant, moon, sun, but especially, if you have a Scorpio moon in particular, it's very much about your emotions and your intuition. And so trust that, when you're looking at your family, because it's so easy to fall into older patterns when we are with our family, but you have this new consciousness around you, swirling around you. And so begin to try to look at things a little differently, because when you do that, you'll begin to take more, become more empowered, take more control of your emotions, knowing that you're not being swept around a little bit more by your the emotional aspects of going to family, and then being able to forgive. The text of this card says your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, Scorpio, and so that is a great gift that you can give to yourself if you're able to do so. And we have this King of Swords here in the area of physical intimacy, and in this kind of central position. And for some of you, there could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, who may be part of this healing the family issues and a little bit of that paranoia. This doesn't always correspond to the signs for me in the Tarot of Sexual Magic, but it may resonate for you. And this King of Swords, he is someone who I think for you represents this individual who is very powerful in your eyes, whoever this person is. It could be a father figure coming in, especially with that healing family issues here. But whoever this person is for you, Scorpio, I feel like in your eyes, he's more powerful than you. And I feel like in some ways you felt like you've had to use your powerful intuitive abilities and your powerful emotional IQ to navigate this individual in order to kind of get what you wanted out of this individual. And I think you're kind of realizing those sort of aspects of your personality, in particular around this particular person, but also just in general. And you're working to transform those so that you can have more clarity and be more open, and you don't have to kind of work situations from the back, so to speak. I've already talked about this future position with the Three of Autumn here. It could be you're working hard at work, just kind of focused and hoping to have the great gains that you've made here show up in the material plane. But I also kind of feel like it's you just kind of doing you. Like you're just kind of working hard, working at what you need to work on. Because I think that for many of you Scorpios, you have this wonderful sense of and I feel that way as well for you, because we also have this Six of Winter as the underlying or emerging energy for you, Scorpio. And this is such lovely energy. It really is indicated so beautifully here. We have this ferry on this boat, and we have the choppy waters here sort of behind him, but going forward it's much smoother water, and there's great warmth and celebration here as he continues on his journey here. So you are leaving behind some more troubled times, I'll say. And we also have the Six of Wands here as a more underlying energy, emerging energy, and this is about celebration, about being in the spotlight. It's shown here as this couple sort of being outdoors, sex outdoors. I think for you, Scorpio, as I kind of feel this for you, it's about you being more and more the one in the spotlight. Again, and it feels for me, Scorpio, it feels very much about just so much clarity coming in. You're wanting things really illuminated. You're wanting a lot of clarity. And it's just, that watery lunar energy. It's just not not what you want right now, and you're going into a period where you're really asking to be the one in the spotlight, to be the one who's open and honest, and who people see very clearly, and you see them very clearly, and that will open your heart more, I feel like. And you won't have to feel, this sense of sort of paranoia. Who are you fighting against, and where are you resisting love, and where do you need to protect yourself kind of energy. We do have underneath this particular deck, the pay attention to the red flags, the signs are cautioning you. And I think for you, Scorpio, it really is more about getting the clarity. Like, just be careful. Not that there's anything to be afraid of, but just be aware of, when you are putting the veil down over your head again, and you're kind of going through, trusting your intuition, as opposed to really opening things up and saying, yeah, okay, I trust my intuition, and I want the confirmation here in the external world. I want to be able to see really clearly with my third eye and my, visual acuity here, so that I know exactly what's going on. I can talk to people and make sure that, they understand who I am. Again, the Six of Wands here. They see me as I am, as I want to be seen, and I see them as well. So some really interesting energies for you and exciting energies for you, Scorpio. I hope you find that helpful, Scorpio. I wish you much love as always, and happy holidays, and I will see you on the next video or at your private reading. Till then.